Hi, I'm Kim. I garden in Zone 4B, upstate New York, and this is my first ever garden tour video. So here we go. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to give you as many plant names as I can. This is the front of my house. We'll kind of see it more as we go through the tour, but this is my front walkway. This is where it kind of all began for me. So, in the front here we have Munstead lavender with Stella d'Oro daylilies that I have actually kind of progressively gotten rid of. They're beautiful, but really kind of common, and I would like to explore different daylily options. Supertunia Vista bubblegum, outstanding. This is probably the third or fourth year I've planted Supertunias. Probably my second year with Vista bubblegum. And we'll walk around this side of the walkway. So I plant really tight. I don't weed. Very, very rarely will you ever see me pull a weed. So some more Vista bubblegum. And then I've got some Dahlias in there. And I've planted mostly pinks and peaches this year. I change out the Dahlias every year in this bed. They are not blooming yet. I've got a Green Mountain boxwood that's been there for probably 3 years. I put Zinnias. These here are lilies that were planted by the chipmunks or moles, voles, whatever you want to call them. I had them all planted in the fall, and after the snow melted in the winter, there was this pile of bits and pieces that had been chewed. I just left them there, and some have survived. I also planted some of the Rudbeckia. I think it's called Green Eyes. This is the hydrangea, the wee white. I think this is the second year, but maybe the third. This bed used to all be hostas. My first mistake in gardening, because it was full sun and they constantly got burnt and horrible looking. So after the second or third year, we've been in this house for 7 years now. We are a retired military family, so this is the first time we get to actually put down roots, literally, with my plants. This is a first year, just planted that. Yeah, again, I'm going to struggle with the names of plants, obviously. Candy corn, spirea. This part of the bed, I have Verbena Bonariensis here, as you can see. Love, love, love the plant. Last year was my first year. I had it in a different bed. And I decided I wanted it spread throughout all of my flower beds, because I just love the way it kind of blows in the wind. And the goal really here, this area still needs work. The goal here was that in the ideal world, the dahlias would be large, so the dahlia flowers would mingle with the Verbena Bonariensis. But yeah, first of all, I probably should have started my dahlias earlier. And second of all, I did start my Verbena by seed inside, so they were way advanced when I planted them. So we'll see how that unfolds. We have a Supertunia Vista Fuchsia. I tried to do every other. That bubblegum's kind of getting buried, which is odd because usually they bury other plants. Buried deep down in there is a Queen of Sweden that I transplanted, and also Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus that I planted from seed. Yeah, I plant excuse me, I planted too early. Yeah, planted it too early, got real leggy. I cut it back and hasn't really done a whole lot since then. I also have clematis, bush clematis, Stand By Me. So adorable. I have a few of those. Wanted to plant some more, but a little bit hard to come by this year. I realize at some point they may need staking, because they have flopped, as you can see. They're over here as well. But my goal is to plant thick enough so that I don't have to do a lot of that too. We are in the snow belt and get lake effect snow off of Lake Ontario. If you've never heard about it, it can be pretty intense. We can get like 4 feet of snow just while we're at work during the day, occasionally. So any kind of support system you have for plants, you really need to take in the winter, because they will collapse on you. I found that out. More lavender, more dahlias, another wee white. I try to repeat ever so often, but this area here that I said needs work needs red foliage, and I was hoping that the Mahogany Splendor would kind of give me an idea on that, but it's not big enough, and this needs something more solid. Maybe the dahlias will offer me that once they're bigger and more flowers. I don't know, but I have a hibiscus, a hardy hibiscus here. It is French vanilla, and I love hardy hibiscus, so I really would like to put one of the hardy hibiscus here. I'm thinking either the new lavender one from Proven Winners that has the dark foliage, or when we get to it, I'll show you my favorite one so far, which is Summer's I'll see if I remember that when we get to it. It also has dark foliage, and they get massive. So, we'll see. I have some Nepeta here, a random cabbage, which I love for decorative when they get big and bulky. I had another cabbage there, but I transplanted it. This is I've cut back the Nepeta already. They've already done one bloom. Another Dahlia is getting ready to flower. I got one there that's flowering. Like I say, I went with pinks and pinks, coral, peaches this year in this bed. As you can see, I have some drumstick alliums that I've repeated. That's a first year. Some liatris, which is also the first year, hasn't bloomed yet. Some more Stella d'Oro, however you say that, daylilies. They're just they've been there for so long, those daylilies, that they offer so much. They're so large. I love the grassy texture, especially when it hangs over the grass. So I really don't want to pull them out until I have something that's as mature as that to stick in there. Another fuchsia. I grew all these Rudbeckia from seed, so I randomly stuck them in different places. I also have another Stand By Me there that's done flowering. It's right here, I guess. And another Stand By Me clematis here that seems to be growing on both sides of that dahlia. Another Queen of Sweden, you can see. So I had 3 of them planted here from David Austin. 1 died, 2 survived. I absolutely love David Austin roses. Love, love, love David Austin roses. But Zone 4B, heavy snow load, does not love David Austin roses. But I sure do keep trying. And for the record, they do have an awesome guarantee, and they have never given me any problems about replacing roses. They have a 5-year guarantee. So the second one wasn't getting enough sun. It's probably not getting enough sun where I transplanted it, but if it would just get up above like this one has, it would stand a better chance. We'll see. A bubblegum again. These are some leftover gladiolas that were planted that I didn't take out of the ground last year. They say you have to dig them up, but as you'll see, I didn't. Now they haven't flowered yet, so we'll see, but obviously the bulb is not dead. I also randomly planted some zinnias in all of my flower beds, but we are just now getting heat, true heat. So they have been behind this year. Put in this pathway last year because I got tired of trying to weave through my plants. So I've got some tater tot arborvitaes. That's a Brunera or Bernera, however you want to say it. That's 2 plants there. There's one Hosta that was transplanted. It has stayed pretty little. I do not know what either of them are. I don't know. I just know it's Brunera. I don't know which one it is. Okay, so that walks up to the front door. So I have this hard flower bed that was on the other side of our walkway. So let me go up on the front porch here in the shade. That's looking back down our walkway, and that's our long driveway. So on the left hand side, so you look down in this bed, and I never knew so it's mostly shade. Our house faces north, mostly northwest. It's it's canted a little bit. Yes, my idea. Probably not such a great one, but it's what we went with. And we do have close to 40 acres. We hobby farm a little bit. But a lot of acres means overwhelming sometimes for planting. All right, back to the garden bed. So this one took me forever to put anything in other than that hydrangea, which is the vanilla strawberry, I believe. Strawberry vanilla. So it has been here for probably 6 years. As you can see, it's very tall. I actually took at least 2 feet of it out of the walkway this spring. I cut it back because it was just impeding the walkway too much. So this is kind of my place where I toss plants that are struggling elsewhere, plants that I'm over, like this hosta. It's not my style of hosta. I love hostas, but initially I think I had a bunch of those. So I started getting rid of them. That's how that one wound up there. I've got bleeding hearts. I've got more hostas. I've got a hidden hosta. As you can see, I've got some tall hollyhocks there, which are not my favorite color, especially with the dark house. They blend too much. And they flop over. The problem with this bed is accessing it, as you can see. I found this chicken nesting box in the woods on our property. I painted it. It was pretty rusty. And have always planned. I did initially, the first 2 years, put plants in there. But again, accessing them to water and such was not easy. I would love to, if it's possible, put some moss up there with some like sempervivums or something, if they would grow. But it is also very close to where the rain comes off the roof. So I just don't know. And they only get morning sun there. I also have a laced up elderberry there because I wanted dark foliage. Probably one of my second loves would be hydrangeas. And I want the blue, purple, pink kind. Which, as most of you probably know, is not really possible in Zone 4B. I do have one, which I don't know if I'm going to show you that spot or not, because it's a forgotten project is where that one is located. So this one, so they bloom on old wood. Well, the problem here in Zone 4B is they they die back too far. But as you can see, this one's got a couple of buds. Last year we had a mild winter, or the year before. So last year they did bloom, all of them. I had beautiful blooms on that one, the largest one. But then this past year we got down to minus 17 Fahrenheit, and I don't see any blooms on the large one at all. I actually had my husband place a piece of, because we flip over our trough here, which was used for the cows in the winter, and then I kind of claimed it. Would love to plant water plants in there, but it's full shade. So we tip that over in the winter because you can't have the water in it. That's my water collection for off the roof. That's what I water all of my house plants here that I'll get to. And I fertilize with that water. And this year we've had some good rains. But, so I had my husband put a piece of plywood down over them to try to protect them, because the snow also comes off the roof there. And I think this one might have gotten enough protection, but the others did not. I'm one of those people that brings my house plants out during the summer. And then takes them in the winter. This is also where I keep my little stash. That's my Japanese beetle water with some soap in it, and my fertilizer that I put in the can, of course. This window box is full shade. So I have some Coleus, which I started from seed. Harris seed. It is the, I forget what it's called. This is Honeysuckle grass, or however you pronounce it. Both of them, these are both the same. This side here must get a touch more light. I don't know. Planted at the same time, but the left side of the box is clearly bigger. Mouse ears, Hosta. The Hostas usually die back and come back every year in this box. This is just a house plant that I have the pot buried in there for my trailing. Yeah, these are technically a zone 5. I think it's the all gold. So probably not gonna survive over the winter, but I'm sure gonna give it a try. I am always trying to overwinter and trying to cheat zones. So there's that window box. I usually only plant window boxes once. I'm not one of those people that does it seasonally. Usually that's it until it dies and we plan for next year. I do something different every year except for the Hosta, and hopefully the Honeysuckle grass will come back. Spider plant there. Okay, going down the steps or looking off to our right, you'll see this is work in progress. I actually brought this container up. I was going to fill it with dirt. I'm thinking about moving that Hosta that does have the pink blooms. It's a newer one by Proven Winners that blooms on old and new wood, and it has the pink, it has the acid dependent, soil acidity dependent color. Where it's blooming for me is pink this year. These were a beautiful purple and pink last year in this bed. A huge bleeding heart there that planted itself. Below it, I have some Lenten rose that bloomed for the first time this year. Another big 6-year hydrangea, another vanilla strawberry. It has pretty much been trained into a tree over the years because of its location. I think it tries to reach for the sun. And I've also trimmed it out to make it more into a tree form. A little arrangement from Proven Winners this year. My caladium that was planted in the middle of it didn't make it. Took forever for us to warm up. Oh, actually, there's a little piece of it down in there still. That's pretty funny. And I stuck some more Coleus that I had left over from seed. I like the arrangement anyway, and I stuck another Rudbeckia in the middle for the, sorry about my shadow, for the centerpiece. We'll see. There is not much sun here. Late afternoon sun, which is what it is right now. Probably close to 3 in the afternoon. Okay, back down the path in my shadow. Alright, so a lot of these hostas were ones that were transplanted from this main walkway here. Because this spot here gets a lot of shade. Especially right here. And those are peonies, or peonies, however you pronounce them. We say peonies here. They are all the same. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them there. They are, I believe, the Sarah Bernhardt peonies. They still bloom, even with as much shade as they get. They're way done blooming. Of course, the hydrangea is not like that when they bloom, so they would get a little bit more sun earlier in the year than what they're getting right now. I do like this grouping, even though it's got my not so favorite hosta. I like the looks of it. I like the layer of it. The height of that hydrangea is outstanding. Couple of limbs have broken off over the years because when it flowers really extremely heavy and then it rains, of course it's heavy. But so far so good this year. It's just starting to really bloom though, as you can see. But love that. It's grown a lot over the years, which now has shaded this window box. This window box used to get a lot more sun. This year I put in a cabbage on each side. This cabbage is done already, so I took it out. And so I put some Coleus that were planted there, and that's where I transplanted that other cabbage. So it's just a itty bitty one. And cup and saucer vine is my trailing. It's trying to grow up upwards into the Vista bubblegums. Another one of those hostas that... So I one day dug that up and just threw it back there. Didn't dig a hole or anything. Just was saying goodbye to it. That's where, if I ever do weed, I'm one that just ditches stuff over the back, or if I'm over a plant. I have another Brunnera down there. It's gonna have to be moved because it likes the shade, but it can't compete. It's really kind of getting smothered. I've got some drumstick alliums. That is not drumstick alliums. That is Allium Millennium. Some bluegrass Allium Millennium in front of this Spirea. That's been in there for 3 years, and I forget the name of it. I have one other one, which I'll show you. I transplanted. I wanted them to be matching, so initially it was in there where that Brunnera is, but it wasn't getting enough sun, so it wasn't growing. You couldn't even see it. So I took it out and moved it. Dahlia, I want to say that's going to be Arabian Night too. I needed height there. My Arabian Nights got extremely tall. Last year. So I was hoping for some height. It's not exactly a standout color against the dark house, but it is one of my favorite dahlias. Got a North Pole Arborvitae that was planted probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. This is a Limelight Hydrangea, I believe. We have a chicken on the loose. Gonna get in my flower beds. She's looking for some delicacies, apparently. All right. So that is a Limelight Hydrangea with a Supertunia down there. Behind it is a Weigela Anemone getting buried. That's the problem when your flower beds start to mature. You plant stuff close when you first start planting, and then it gets buried. I also have a clematis that grows up that hydrangea that is done flowering for the most part, but I don't know if you can see. It has reached the top. Up there. That was actually a hydrangea that I kind of forgot about. Not a hydrangea, a clematis that I forgot about. I forgot to mention the clematis over there too, in that bed. There was a climbing rose in behind there that's buried. That's where the clematis originated. It grew around the Arborvitae and flowered around the Arborvitae. So it just kind of grows up that corner and flowers on stuff. I love that idea. So moving around here, we have more Arabian Night dahlias that are just not near as tall as they were last year. Last year they were like 6 feet tall. Bird nest pine, more bluegrass, Millennium Alliums, which the Millennium Alliums got moved this year, is why they're looking a little sad. They were all up underneath from the stuff that had overgrown over top of them. So I had to move everything out, and that one got moved over there. There's another hardy hibiscus. That one is Edge of Night, and that's what I'm talking about as far as the dark foliage. If it gets enough sunlight, that foliage gets really dark. That one this is only the second year, and that was just a small start. I don't even think it was a quart pot. That was tiny last year. They get huge. That'll fill in that area. I have irises planted there, as you can see. That is a sweet vine, I don't know. That's 2 shrubs, and they have been in there for probably 3 years. Another Stand By Me clematis, another fuchsia, some liatris in here. This is another bed that I'm never ever satisfied with. My borders kind of bother me. They're too mixed up. I need some more continuity. I have this Alchemilla mollis lady's mantle. I have some pink roses, but in there, they're hardy. I had one, I think there's 4 or 5 in there that surround the tree, but they're probably getting, so they have a lot of shade now. This tree has grown considerably since we first got it. I bring my Christmas, they flower at Christmas, amaryllis outside during the summer so they can get summer sun. That one is definitely not looking so great, as you can see. Let me check and see. Oh, the bulb is still hard. And they get rained on. Rain goes down in the bulb, whatever. I don't worry about that. I have yet to lose one. Crocosmia. That's what this is. Such a unique. I love it. This is my first year with it flowering. It's been there for 1.5 years. So I planted it in the fall. Last year it didn't flower, only the greenery came up. And now this year it's flowering. That's Lucifer. Some more, so I have some liatris in there that aren't doing as well as the other ones. Some more Nepeta that's been cut back. I got a couple of daylilies. Ruby spider. I got that idea from Guiding Green Thumbs on YouTube. Oh, those are beautiful. Put them in my garden because of seeing them in her garden. There's another ruby spider. I don't know if you can see it because of the shade. It's getting ready to bloom. Another amaryllis. Another fuchsia. So we're just walking around the bed now. This way. I have some autumn fire sedums, autumn joy. Foxgloves that are done flowering. Those are white. I have more dahlias in here. Autumn joy sedum that's getting ready to flower that I cut back, and it's already sprouted back again. Some more gladiolas that I didn't dig up. Another rose in there that's getting buried. These are both the same rose. It is Morden Blush. More zinnias. These are the proven winners, Delphinium, dark blue white bee larkspur, Delphina. Two of them are. These two are, this one is one that I dug up from my mother's flower bed. A fuchsia. So this is the other side of that Limelight Hydrangea. And on the back side of that, I got a ton of stuff that needs to be rearranged because you can't see it. So there's part of that clematis growing up there. I got a verbena that planted itself there. A baptisia. I got a white rose. I have eyeliner lilies, which stand out awesome against the dark house. I have here is another hardy hibiscus. I don't remember. That one might be Spendorella. And it looks like Japanese beetles. Ugh. Ooh, I have lily beetle. If you'll see, I don't know if you can see, but that's their excrement. I need to come out with my thing and scrape that off into, this is the first year I've seen any signs of lily beetle, red lily beetle. Glow Girl Spirea, new this year, down in there. I'm hoping that's gonna grow up, fill in that spot. As you can see, I hide my fertilizer thing down behind there, and another amaryllis. And another clematis that I want to grow up this side. I'm hoping that'll be my yellow accent. I like to have red, blue, yellow, and green. So it's not getting enough sun yet, but I think this gets all morning sun. This probably gets sun until right around noon, 1 o'clock maybe. So the sun kind of moves that way. So once that gets tall enough and gets more sun, it'll be more yellow. And surprisingly, I moved a Hosta over here, one of the ones from the front walkway, and it is doing really well over here. So it must not get too much sun compared to what it was. I have a Zephyrin rose in the back there that's trying to fend for itself, and a sunflowers that the chipmunks plant all over my flower beds. Foxglove that are done, but these were the peach, and they were just stunning this year. And mine tend to reseed. This is the first year for the peach, though. I've only ever had white. So we'll see how that goes. I don't, as you can see. Now, sometimes with the foxglove, if I get tired of looking at the stalk, I will just kind of bend it over so that when the seeds dry, it's not as unsightly and the seeds will fall to the ground. And I do mulch and stuff, but I think because we have heavy winters too, I think the snow does help with the reseeding. I don't know. This is my favorite, and it's Evening Rose, I believe is the name of it. Hardy Hibiscus. There are two of them there. That, which I believe is a Splendarella, was planted at the same time. I planted 3. I wanted a huge mass here, although it's huge with just 2. I mean, you can't tell in the camera, but that's probably, oh, I don't know, at least 5 feet across. The color of those is amazing. I'll do another garden tour so you can see the color when they come out. But just my favorite. I have, and this foliage would be dark. It's a dark foliage one, except for it gets mostly morning sun. Doesn't get quite enough. It's got, some speckles of darkness, but not like it would if it was in more sun. Unfortunately, the Japanese beetles also like my hibiscus, my hardy hibiscus. And like I said, zone 4B. Never dreamt that I could grow hibiscus. So absolutely thrilled. We'll probably buy every single one that Proven Winners comes out with. I love them that much. Not as crazy about the Splendarella. I like intense color for the most part. And Splendarella is pink and white, I believe. That's what that one is, pink and white. I have yarrow that I grew from seed. It's in too fertile of soil, so it flops. Oh, and there's an iris. All different colors. Mostly like a light purple, but it fades to a white. Another bubblegum, more yarrow. Peonies, these are Coral Charm peonies. My favorite peony color, probably. Absolutely stunning. They're more of the single open kind, so they don't flop as bad as those Sarah Bernhardts do. Back behind there, I have Japanese anemone. It's a white one. Can't think of the name right now. Beautiful, but probably needs to move forward because I think this is the 3rd year for that. So it's kind of getting buried back there. I have another Limelight here that tends to grow this way because of the sunlight. Again, I think it's not getting quite enough sunlight. A little water there for the animals. Another newly planted clematis down there that will hopefully grow up that Limelight. Although I do debate, that's probably where I should put that pink one. Hydrangea. Gets a little bit of sun. It's on the east side of the house, so it would be sheltered from the prevailing winter winds. A thought, maybe. But I do need a large structure here, and I'm getting kind of impatient, I'm not gonna lie, for large structures. And hydrangeas grow fairly quickly. We'll see. Some more foxglove that are done. I just cut them off this morning. When I bought that, it was a Mr. Bowling Ball Arborvitae. I've seen it by some different names, so not 100% sure on that, but that was as small as my tater tot arborvitaes, and it's gotten huge. I use strawberries for a ground cover here. They're ever-bearing, so they're getting ready to bear again. Sun King Aralia, newly planted this year. So that will also be a big yellow bold statement. I got this, this is a gold-colored Arborvitae. That's a tree. It's supposed to be a tree. Suffered a lot of dieback this year. So I probably don't have the patience for that. We'll see. I don't like it when stuff looks ratty. Some more of the Crocosmia, Lucifer. I got a container there that has mint for the most part in it to try to contain it. I do have some chives in there and some flopping Millennium Allium there that broke off when I transplanted the other ones, so hasn't died yet. So I'm hoping for another plant. I did forget this yellow flower is Helenium. I think I'm saying that right. Sneezeweed. It's planted from seed this year, first time. I'm not gonna lie though, I thought it was red, not yellow, but I don't hate the yellow. So, and it's a nice bright spot in the shade of the afternoon. There were more drumstick alliums over here, but only one. I will probably plant more of them. The bees love them. All right, so this is the side of my house. This bed here, that's our quote barn, chicken coop over there. So all of these garden beds here are fairly new. This is the second year for these beds. There's my shovel. So these are all a work in progress this year. I have some more Rudbeckia here. I have a little that my brother gave me. It had a lot of dieback this winter too. Is it a white curly pine? Maybe. Weeds next to my iris. I have 3 Ambridge rose from David Austin. One that is struggling. It's been struggling since I got it to survive. The other 2 are doing really well. This one's getting ready to have its second flush. Salvia Amistad. Love it. Overwintered it inside. Don't think I'll do that this year. That was hard to do. But it wasn't hard to do. It was time consuming. Because it likes to grow. So I had to keep cutting it back. I just cut a piece of it off. Piece that wasn't flowering. Rooted it into a pot. And it was easy to grow. Easy to propagate. More fuchsia, foxglove that's over and done with and looking pretty bad. A bee house that, yes, needs to be somewhere effective. That's not a great place for it. Iris, more foxglove that are done. Daylilies. That one hasn't started. I don't know the names of all my daylilies. Some of them have tags, some of them don't. These are transplanted this year. You pretty much can't kill a daylily either, I've decided. Another hibiscus. This one, again, with the dark leaves. Love the dark leaves. Next to Golden Jubilee Agastache or Agastaki. So there's your golden red. Love it. No blue here, but maybe a little bit from the iris. And another daylily, Guy Meadows. And my daylilies, some of them are having trouble opening up this year. That's as far open as they get. I don't know what the deal is. I think these are the third year for these daylilies. Lots of weeds. A honeysuckle growing up the swing that needs some TLC. Again, I got that when my mother passed away, so it's got some sentimental value to it, and her wind chime. Some more gladiolas that I didn't dig up, and a daylily in here that I planted from seed. Planted it here because I didn't think the gladiolas would come back. Another hardy hibiscus. Not a red one, obviously. This year I bought Berry Awesome and the new lavender one. I can't think of the name for some reason. So I'm not sure if that's Berry Awesome or the new lavender one. More daylilies that I got from my brother. I do not know the name. A willow. So also about my gardens, very much clay. I deal with clay. So every year I mulch heavy, hoping to help with the clay issue. But let me tell you something, willows grow. That's only the second year for that willow. I don't know what kind of willow it is, but I'm going to get in there after it and trim it, try to keep it a little bit more like a tree, because that's going to get out of control quick. I have more iris over here. I don't know. Those I got from my mother's garden too before they sold the house. I forget what they're called, but it's the first time it's flowered. They've been in there for 2 years. I got 2 peonies. Don't know which ones those are. And another hardy hibiscus that's not really getting enough sun, because that's the second year there, and it's still pretty small. Don't have a clue which one it is. I won't know till it flowers. I should move it though, or trim that willow back so it can get more sun. Another strawberry vanilla hydrangea that again is same age as the other ones, but clearly not as good a soil, so it shows. Plus, in all fairness, it was transplanted like 3 times. And I don't ever transplant during an appropriate time. I transplant on whims. Can be 90 degrees out and I'll be like, you know what, I don't like you there anymore, I'm going to move you. And then I just hope for the best. Another hardy hibiscus, some more golden jubilee agastache that I planted from seed. I have some little goblin, what are they? Dogwoods? No. Are they dogwoods? Berry Poppins. Got 3 of them. One's the male. I think that one's the male. This is a David Austin Lady of Shalott. Does really well in the not great soil. Just another random container that I found in a junk pile that I plant in it. This is the soft one. Oh, that gold arborvitae over there is a soft serve gold, I think. I forget the name of that one. This one too has the has one of the Salvia amistades in it, but it's not doing as well. And a nice tall weed. Zinnia. Those back there are actually the Crocosmia Lucifer. There is one, I can see one bud trying to come out over there. I don't know if you can see it. Then I have 3 Munstead Wood David Austin roses that are a beautiful color. Doing a little better this year. Sorry about my shadow. They were very floppy last year. These are hollyhocks that I planted from seed. So I have a bunch of them, and the Japanese beetles love them. They are just every morning loaded, and I come through and knock them into my cup. That is a new seedling. I forget the name of it. It's a spider, daylily spider form. Love it. It's a little darker, I think, than ruby spider. Some more verbena, a zinnia, 9-bark, summer wine 9-bark. That was actually over where that water container was. Little water pan over there in front of the... Sorry, probably made you dizzy on that one. But it was getting smothered. These are daffodil foliage. This is a container I put together of Supertunia Vista bubblegums with onions in the middle. Onions I grew from seed. Walla Wallas. My husband made me some benches out of some fallen trees. And behind here I have weeds. I have zinnias, Verbena Bonariensis, some more zinnias, a hardy hibiscus. I have some more Helenium sneezeweed. That one is the same thing. Oh, it's berry gold. It's proven winners. It's supposed to have gold berries on it. All right, this is the same shrub that's in the front of the house. This one is a little bit more yellow because it's full sun. It's the one that was languishing over there. So the funny thing is, over here it has spread more than grown tall. These are an iris, a Siberian iris that has never flowered. I don't know if it's my clay soil. I don't know what it is, but this is the 3rd year. And it's never and they've never flowered. A ground rose that I got from my mother's garden before they sold the house. Foxglove. My Japanese beetle trap, which I know is controversial. Some people say it calls the Japanese beetles, but whatever. I seriously have no problem taking out Japanese beetles. Lamb's ear that never leaves my garden. I wanted the different one, but that one just pops up everywhere, and it's okay. I let it stay in most places it pops up. This is a honeysuckle. It was a little bit harder to find with a weed growing up through it, of course. Some foxglove that are done and over with that need work. Some more liatris that haven't done as well over here. I'll try to think of the name of that honeysuckle. I have another hardy hibiscus. I have coneflower. I have trouble getting my coneflowers to come back a second year. I've missed some. There's more coneflowers. So I'm not going to let them flower this year. Just going to try to let them establish roots. I wonder if it's because we're too cold. Another dahlia, which I was great about labeling my dahlias to overwinter them, and then brought them outside, put them all in the ground, and didn't think one time about labeling them in the ground. So hopefully I'll be able to tell what they are when they flower to get them relabeled. Hopefully. Another peony, a dark red one. Some more hollyhocks, and all grown at the same time, but 3 different sizes for some reason. Same hollyhock. Some more millennium alliums, and a weigela. Wine and roses that does not do well there at all. This is probably the 4th year. It's probably going to get replaced with something else, because after 4 years I don't tolerate that should be huge by now. Some more peonies, some more gladiolas that I didn't dig up, another dahlia, and some snapdragons that came back from last year. All of my snapdragons that I planted last year came back. And some of them much healthier than the first year. Like sturdier and thicker. I don't know. Wonderful. These are apricot fudge lilies that my brother bought me. A lemony lace elderberry, which struggles here. Maybe too much sun, because elderberries love water. And that's another thing too about hardy hibiscus. You really can't overwater them. They love water, boggy, clay. I used to have 3 of the Holy Grail there, but I wasn't crazy about the dark foliage with the intense red flower there. I loved it, but not there. So I moved them out by the road. And they were absolutely huge. Clematis growing back there. Not sure which one. Container with a tomato, onions, and supertunia. Bubblegum. Tons of weeds here, which is the problem with new flower beds, I find. This mulch was thick. But a daylily, green turtle key, some more, what do you call them? Snapdragons. And it's pretty hot for snapdragons right now. Drumstick alliums, summer wine black, 9 bark, newly planted this year. Love it. Love, love, love it. Yeah, this bed needs serious help. Lupins back there that need to be cut down. They're done for the year. But as you can see, they're starting to flush up for next year, I'm guessing. I don't know. Some Nepeta, because when I initially started the bed, it was way back there. So, and I expanded it. More dahlias, some more Verbena Bonariensis, a daylily from a friend, some more Zinnias, another dahlia, maybe Madam Butterfly? Not sure. But that's what all of these dahlias are right here, are the same as that one. I have some iris, I guess. I don't know. I mixed some onions in here too. All of these snapdragons came back from last year. All these gladiolas came back from last year. This is a birch tree that when I planted it was probably 12 inches tall. And this would be its third year, maybe fourth. I don't know. Birch trees grow quick. Yeah. Another clematis. Some lilies back there. They are just the the white ones. The beautiful smelling ones. Also, I don't think love the clay. This clematis is the summer. Ooh, I don't remember. This can be invasive in some places, but not here. Sage. I planted along here. It's been cut back. It already bloomed and everything this year. My onions that I have been processing. I planted them way too close. I know. Grown from seed. I planted two kinds, Walla Walla and Spanish. I freeze my onions. All right. So that's pretty much it. That is Kim's first garden tour, July 2022. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, hopefully.